Moto2, everyone's going to be making those little steps. This is Peter Bishakirski. He'll be looking for overall improvement at the end of the race. We'll see.
Yeah, last year was the best here at Estoril for the final race of the day. It's the second race of the Moto2 European Championship, and the competition looks, hopefully he's able to stay in this lead battle, because Fermin Aldegier and Alonso Lopez, very impressed.
Gap at the front, or, you know, just break it up. You know, another thing that he's...
Yeah, he said that Norden's got the monkey off his back, right now. They've set themselves up really well at the start of this season. They're the team. We're getting ready for 18 laps of Moto2 action. And we're underway, and it looks like Tulovic has made a good start. It looks like from the second row of the grid, though, once again, we've got a few fast starters. The 23 of Hada took the lead in race 1. Looks like he's been able to do it in race 2 as well. Look at Kubo as well on the number 9, trying to just slide his way down the inside. And it looks quickly at the start of this race. Andy Verdoy on the 25, he's made a decent start as well. He's a few Hada leading the way. And the 54, Fermin Aldegier. You can see Kuba there. Big slide on the entry into turn 6.
Oh, someone was out of shape.
It looked like it might have been the 74, Peter, that's been a little bit out of shape. But you can see there for the 21 of Lopez, he's not
the final corner, but it's Slipstream City leads.
Aldegier able to get that bike stopped, really strong in the brakes all the way through this weekend. That seems to be one of the fortes for him, like it was in the stock 600 bike. It looks like we might have seen a little bit of progress further back for Alonso Lopez. He gave up too much ground, particularly when Aldegier was as consistent as he was in this morning's sessions.
Well, Aldegier was the main threat to his main threat was Lopez, and Lopez is so far down the order, he isn't going to be his main threat up into the top 5 places, but at the front it's still Aldegier and Tulovic, and Tiger Harder, impressive there. He's third.
Yeah, with that fresh tyre, number 23 doing a good job to be able to hold with the race leaders. Typically in this class we see that after about 4 laps, that's when we get that big drop off, and that's suddenly whenever we can tend to see on the number 3 and second spot, keeping that watching brief. And it looks like Alonso Lopez might have been able to make another bit of progress. He might be up into
each other in race 1, but I don't think that's going to be the dynamic in this race at all, Steve. I honestly think that Aldegier, he's got the pace. Dealt with some of them already. He's inside the top 5. But we know Kenneth Kubo is not the easiest of riders.
Chicane, otherwise he just keeps giving up too much ground. You can see at the front of the field, the leading 3 are already stretching out. Lopez is through into the chicane. He made a good start, but then maybe just as he released the clutch and starts to pick up speed, that's where it looked like they had a bit of a problem. But certainly for Lopez, he's now got what he's able to do on this lap from 4th position. As it is, he's given up another couple of tenths of a second on this lap, so a lot of work to be...
At the moment, it's a very, very good performance indeed, considering he started 3rd as well, and considering that he was firming.
Tulovic, a couple of tenths of a second faster than the race leader. Lopez, though, he was round about a tenth of a second.
Even Tulovic getting ahead of Aldegier is not the most convincing thing at the moment, even if
in race 1. But right now, as we move into that middle third of the race, this is where he has to be through, I think, because down into turn 6, he's definitely going to make the move.
At this rate.
You can see with the 21 of Alonso Lopez, he's setting up the 23 of Tiger Hada now at this stage. He wants to make sure try it. This is where he made his mistake in race 1, and he left that break in nice and late, forces Hada wide. That's good riding there.
And Aldegier responds, and the same in sector 3. Sector 3 and 4 is where Lopez folds, but at the moment Aldegier is doing what he needs to do.
Well, you can see there for Aldegier, he's been given the pip, has certainly been given the encouragement to close down that gap. Last time around, having made the move on...
Mistake from Aldegier, and that has allowed Tulovic through. So Tulovic, that is exactly what Lopez needed. He tabs on and starts to reel in a tenth or 2 in the middle part of this section. Look at Aldegier, he's going on the outside, on the curb, any which way, but Tulovic will not allow it.
Changing out in front of him now. He knows that he can get himself onto terms with this. The gap is
in the 2nd and 3rd sector, which is where the number 54 has been so strong, and it's where Lopez, that breathing room, the gap is under a second.
Aldegier was really strong on the brakes as well, so down in towards turn 1 we know he's going to be good. Down into turn 6 leaves the braking really late on the run into turn 6, and that's been able to keep that race lead.
Don't know where that is. That bike is being wheeled away though. Where is the rider? Hopefully
tyre well, make sure he manages his pace and stays with the 2 bucks. Get himself right down on Tulovic. Leave no option for Tulovic. Really good riding there for Alonso Lopez.
Faultless on the exit, and now he's in 2nd place, and it's a carbon copy of this first race
with the leaders in the opening stages. He's about 2.5 seconds back, so he's not going to be a factor in the battle out.
It wasn't a mistake where it's cost himself a podium or any points at all. He still had a solid start. It was 20 to be able to draft by. Will he do it by the line though? That's the important. Very close, not quite.
We saw him make the move in, same on his teammate.
Let it roll.
And he manages to make it nice and easy there for Alonso Lopez, and he's been able to team Aldegier in race 1. Not in terms of what his teammate did, but just in terms of what to expect from Aldegier. So that's why he wants to make sure
front this quickly had Tulovic not interfered. And Tulovic, yeah, he's dropping off a little bit. Aldegier, and Aldegier gets his chance to study. And That's important, and that's why Aldeguer was able to have that kind of
podium man in World Championship, front row starts. His speed and his talent, sure that he shows everyone just how fast he can be. You see that bit of a bobble on the entry into turn 1 for the 21.
For Tulovic, I mean, he's 3-4 tenths quicker already. Use that as well. He's got to have used that 1 year more, 2 year more out of contention in race 1.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter too much with Tulovic, because the two. Aldeguer has been very, very impressive all the way through. He's got his tail up, he's confident. He went really being able to establish himself right from the outset here in the Moto2 class as being a rider to watch. That's the kind of thing that you want to see from any of these riders. The team and the bike that won the championship last year, he's doing a really good job to stay here with Alonso Lopez. Much more experience for Lopez.
This is Adam Norridin at turn 1. Just enjoy World Supersport and Supersport 300. We'll know that name, Mika Perez. He's been around, hasn't been as strong. And like we said, turn 6 might be the best opportunity for Aldeguer. If
Lopez, we saw him make a mistake in race 1, now he has to learn from that. We saw Lucas Tulovic around this point, but right now we are in that outright battle for the race. Aldeguer keeping him honest, half wheels down in towards turn 1. He wants to just make sure Alonso knows that he's there. Kiko, given what we saw in race 1, Lopez is going to know he's there.
I think he knows. And the good thing with Lopez, he's got a lovely, but you can just see he's a little early on the brakes. I think he's sandbagging just a little bit. And you would with a few laps, 4 or 5 laps. So it's a win-win at the moment for Aldeguer. He's just got to make that move.
A few corners. But certainly for Lopez, he'll know that he's going to get an attack at some point. 42, he's round about a few tenths of a second, lap after lap. So it really has been nice, consistent pace.
Like you said, Steve, he's losing a lot less track. This is where each time the rider you've just passed knows where you're strong. Yeah,
the key corner is always going to be turn 4 around this track. If you exit that well, it's just got to find a little something now in the final third of this race, the number 3. This lap has managed to close up. And I think a lot of that comes down to
back 41.8 for Tulovic, and that is quicker both laps than the 2 Boscos. Looks like turn 4 to me. About, oh no, is he running on? Has he got a problem? The front end did wash out, but he'd already gone kind of in the gravel by that point. So Burnett, very unlucky. But back to the original
Aldeguer on the 54, he's trying to just make sure he holds that station behind Alonso Lopez. Lopez is trying to set a good pace right now.
Need to do. He'll know turn 6 is it's an overtaking hotspot. He'll know that to expect something, but in the actual slipstream, Mastu goes Tiger harder on Adam Norridin. That is the battle for 4th.
Yeah, and out in front for Aldeguer, it's all about what he's going to be able to do through that opening sector. He holds those different.
So in race 1, the 21 is leading with just a few laps to go. We've got the 54 chasing.
At the end of this race, there's a few stock 600 riders to come through. So for Firmin Aldeguer, he wants to make this move early. Not able to do it there. So again, we're seeing it where he's just easing off. He's not really being aggressive at this hairpin. Is he close enough? Is he going to try and make the move? We've seen him sit up.
Point. Last lap time.
Yeah, for Alonso Lopez now, he needs to make sure he avoids a mistake. In race 1 this morning, he made a mistake into turn 6. You can see the traffic that's in front, and they're going to have to come through 3 stock 600 bikes on this last lap of the race, and that's going to be a big challenge.
He's going to be do or dive, and he's going to dive.
And he's going to try it, but Aldeguer is going to try and just hang it around, and there's contact between them, and you can see for Alonso Lopez, Matchery, it's been a while for Lopez to win a race, but for Aldeguer, race winner in race 1, going to try and use the slipstream. Is he close enough to use that toe? Don't think he is. It looks like
going to be Aldeguer.
He's going to do it. He uses the toe. Wow. Unbelievable stuff from Aldeguer.
You can honestly thought if he had gone through at the chicane, which he did, it was done for Aldeguer, and that is a story. Possible 50. What a way to start his season.
Yeah, really impressive from Aldeguer. Takes the win by 2 races of the season. And for Aldeguer and the Boscos team, this really has been